Professional wrestling is the one true sport. Other sports have their share of intense, dramatic moments, but nothing can compare with professional wrestling. Welcome to Wrestling History X, where three friends come together, talk about the stories behind the matches. I'm Matt.
Tonight, you can call me Yerple.
And I just want another nurse. I need a new nurse.
Do you love juice?
Welcome to episode 324, WWF Monday Night RAW.
I was almost Yerple.
It's hard not to be Yerple.
So this is the 280th episode of Raw, produced by the WWF. It would air on October 5th, 1998, as a taped episode from the Breslin Center in East Lansing, Michigan.
Go Abigail.
With an attendance of 9,846 and a TV rating of 4.6.
Ooh.
Nitro the same week had a 4.5 with a live episode. That episode had Brett and Sting as the main event. But also some other things that happened on that show was the Warrior Mirror segment, if you've never seen that.
He's haunting me.
And the LWO forums.
Oh.
So last week, WCW won with Brett versus Hogan. Mm-hmm. And then they lose with Brett versus Sting. Mm-hmm. The next week after WWF has a watershed moment with the Zamboni. Mm-hmm. I'm just putting it in perspective.
And for all of you people that are watching along, this episode is on Netflix as well.
Yes, it is.
But
Did Netflix uses Cage Match to find out which Raws to put on there? Netflix uses Cage Match to decide what Raws to pick from archive.
They've missed a couple because...
I mean, I know the next one that we're watching isn't on there, so...
Oh, okay.
Yet.
I mean, it might be on there by the time we get around to watching it, But we are in East Lansing, Michigan.
We are.
So, Shane, did you do what you do?
Oh, I think so. Yes, we're still in Michigan, just down the road from old Detroit. So I kind of did this last time when I was looking up stuff for Detroit. Cause I'm like, there's got to be stuff from Michigan that I've never tried before, never heard of. So I continued on with my search, and I discovered a particular burger that I'd never heard of before, but it called out to me because I'm a fan of the special ingredient that they put on it. It's known as a Michigan specialty, the olive burger. It's believed to have originated in Flint in the 1920s, specifically at a restaurant called Kewpie Hotel Hamburgs, which later became Halo Burger. While Kewpie is widely considered the origin point, there's no definitive proof of who first created the olive burger. Weston's Kewpie Sandwich Shop in Lansing, Michigan also claims to have created the unique olive sauce that tops their olive burger. Essentially, according to this anyways, there is two variations of olive burgers in Michigan. One has a sauce made with mayonnaise, green olives, and brine, or loose olives held to the burger with mayonnaise. I had to be extra and do my own thing, so I looked up a couple different recipes, and I thought, if I have time, I'll make a burger, and I knew I wouldn't have time, so I completely scratched that thought out of my mind and decided, where the fuck can I order from that's going to bring me a burger? My original thought was to order from Charleston's, but I was too late to hit them on DoorDash, so the only thing available after that was Chili's. So I just got their old-timer cheeseburger, and then I went and stopped at one of the grocery stores and got some olive tapenade. I got some cream cheese, mixed those two together, grabbed some seasonings from Michael's cabinet, and hit it with a little bit of the Montreal steak seasoning stuff.
My name's Yerple.
I'm sorry, Yerple. But it calls for other things like Worcestershire sauce and paprika and Dijon mustard and a dash of fish sauce and other stuff in there. But
a little bit of kitchen sink.
Yeah, I figured with all the stuff that's in the olive tapenade, because there's more than just olives that are in there, it's going to give it a little bit of extra flavor. Plus, you throw the cream cheese on there, it's going to add that, little extra something to it. Not bad. I mean, obviously the olives take the place of the pickles, which I guess pickles could probably have been on there too. I picked them off because I figured Why am I going to do both? I want the olives to be the star because it's an olive burger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it'd probably be better on a better burger, but given that Chili's was my only option aside from, Wendy's or Jack in the Box or something like that, which I wasn't even going to attempt, I can't be too mad about it.
No.
I just wish it was a little bit warmer, but that's the price you pay.
I'd say it was good enough that I could see myself doing this with a burger at home.
Hey, there you go.
Top and nod.
I'll send you the recipe.
Cream cheese,
Maybe you can take it to work.
Zhuzh it up.
You can take the idea to work and, you can come up with a specialty thing there.
I don't give anybody ideas that I don't get paid for.
As we know, I'm not a big fan of olives. And
I was trying to remember.
Actually,
I was trying to remember if you were or not.
I almost asked if everybody was okay with olives. I'm like, they'll be fine.
I could not taste that was olives at all.
Oh, sweet.
Okay. See, my thought was that I could do more olive.
More olive, yeah.
But
I wondered if I put too much cream cheese in there, but
I think it's a worthy experiment, though. And now there's a thing that
but
we can
after the
explore.
experience a few weeks ago with the garage burger that we had,
yes,
I'm a big fan of the cream cheese on a burger.
I'm telling you.
Ever since then,
You've experimented?
I've hit up garage quite a few times.
Oh, really?
More pizza places need to bring cream cheese back to their menu offerings because seriously, a pepperoni pizza with jalapenos and cream cheese is great.
Do you just cube it up and toss it on there?
Yep. You just do it just like a lot of places will put those,
Yeah.
like the Detroit style pizza had the dollop of ricotta on there.
Yeah.
You just do a blob of cream cheese instead, and then it gets that toasty marshmallow look to the top of it as it bakes, and it just
Good to go.
It's nice and softer, and it blends in well with the flavors of everything, and it takes away some of the heat and adds a little bit more of the fat. But yeah, olive burger. As somebody who is a manager of a burger restaurant and formerly an Olive Garden person, I guess has kind of taken two of my past places and put them into one, and then putting it in my mouth. So
does Olive Garden have olives?
I mean, just black olives in their salad.
Okay, I was like, I don't know. I've only been to Olive Garden once.
Yeah. They got pepperoncinis in there though, so you eat them together and it gives you that pickled olive flavor.
Nice.
Kind of, sort of, but not really.
Yeah, ish.
But yeah, on the burger itself as well, on the old timer, it came with your choice of mayonnaise, mustard, or ranch. It's got lettuce, tomato, pickle, red onion. I picked the pickle off, like I said.
We didn't want to brine our bellies.
Yeah, I'm guessing it'd be good if you threw bacon on there or whatever. I'm going to do like I normally do and take a bite. It ain't going to make any noise. It might make some squishy stuff that Michael's going to say gross to, but
It'll be gross, but hey.
Yeah, here
I'm
we
not
go.
listening back. I'm just here for the experience.
Let me get close to the mic. And here we go. Microphone, not the earple. Here we go.
Thank you for respecting my name.
1, 2, 3.
I heard nothing, and that's the way I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, something that would happen right around the same time as this episode of Raw, Ants and Night at the Roxbury would come to theaters the previous weekend.
Saw both of these in the theater.
I saw one of them.
I saw Ants with my grandma and my cousins, and I saw Night at the Roxbury with my older cousin.
You, me, you, me, you, me, you, me, you, me, you.
Emilio! I like Ants quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like crap now because it was like poor like CGI animated movie than like what's the Disney one? The one
Bug's Life.
Pig's Life, or not Bug's Life, but I mean Pixar in general.
Yeah.
Like they had less money, so the ants just kind of look like crummy CGI turds. But the movie I think is good and funny. Sylvester Stallone, Woody Allen. It's got a rogues gallery of entertaining voice actors.
Yeah.
Tons of people in this movie.
And see, I was sitting here trying to remember, is it Woody Allen or is it Martin Scorsese?
Marty would be funny, but
It's definitely Woody.
But it's definitely. But yeah, I like Ants, and I think Night at the Roxbury. A lot of people, I think that it is looked on more positively now in a world where we just don't get comedies unless they have like a gun in them and they're an action comedy, which is not the same thing. By no means is it Wayne's World or anything, but it is pretty funny, and it is extra funny now because in that movie, Will Ferrell is the sidekick who goes on to be the king of the 90-minute theater comedy for 6 years or so, and Chris Kattan is absolutely forgotten. But at one point, He was a star.
He made a return to Celebrity Big Brother a handful of years ago and was...
oh yeah, he can't move. His like
not so good.
Shoulders are just like pinned. But yeah, so that's very funny. But
yeah, I wanted to enjoy. Maybe I need to watch it again because it's been forever. But I found myself more after Night at the Roxbury, just kind of being like, "Don't hurt me no more." Because I'm over it.
Song gets a little spammed.
Well, I mean, just the movie itself. It was like after. It's one of those like there's certain SNL characters that should only be a segment on SNL. They don't need a full hour and a half, 90-minute, whatever, or more.
Yeah, movie. This definitely didn't need one, but I think that with such a thin character, they at least eked out something. Their idea was they can never get into nightclubs. So what if we made the outside of the nightclub look like the inside of the nightclub, and the inside of the nightclub look like the side of the street? Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, it's by no means great, but I think it's not the worst SNL movie.
No. There's, MacGruber is a thing for a reason.
MacGruber's definitely not the worst one either.
That's most people's favorite.
Oh, so I didn't like the character in general.
Yeah, people love that movie. I was going to say, what's the Al Franken one? That one sucks.
It's
Stuart Smalley?
No, it's Pat I like, even though it's not good.
Stuart Smalley saves his family? Or Stuart saves his family?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
That movie stinks.
Yep. Yeah, It's Pat the movie is...
It's not good, but I like it.
It's a hidden gem.
Yeah. I'm in Ween.
I mean, I'd definitely say Night at the Roxbury is probably down in the lower half of the...
It's not... It's not...
I mean,
so I'm like looking at the list of
Mary Catherine Gallagher,
sketches that were made into movies, and yeah.
I mean, Stefan never got a movie. He would have been great.
No, the last movie
His
that was
movie
made
had
was
everything.
Ladies Man and the MacGruber were the last two that were made.
Oh, the Ladies Man. I forgot about
Ladies
that.
Man, also pretty good.
Ladies Man is very good.
It's funny.
But like, they count Blues Brothers as a SNL sketch movie, which I would say is probably the best of the sketch movies.
I mean, it's that or Wayne's World, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I would go Ladies Man probably as 3.
It's been so long since I've seen it, but I do remember liking Ladies Man a good
and then
bit.
Wayne's World too.
Yep. I would like to buy you a fish sandwich.
Yeah.
But yes, Night at the Roxbury. I enjoy the film, but
it's not a classic.
It's not a classic by any means. Ants, I'd rather go watch A Bug's Life.
I've seen Ants more times, so I don't even know if I remember much about Bug's Life because I probably saw it once in the theater, but Ants played on TV all the time because it was the lesser movie, so it was cheaper to play on cable. So I watched it a whole bunch. So I'm more familiar and fond of it, but I could never say it's the better movie or that I like it more because I haven't seen the other one in a long time.
I also didn't like Woody Allen, so
yeah,
his voice is...
I didn't know what it was, who he was when I watched the movie as a kid.
So I think that was part of the reason why I didn't like Ants as much either.
Yeah.
Even though they're animated, the character still took on some...
It's 110%. It's just
personality
it is just Woody Allen.
Yeah, I was working at Blockbuster at the time, and I never saw Ants, never saw Bug's Life.
Ants definitely has a lot more like adult humor or themes. Not that it's not in a sexual way, but like it's not as much of a kid's movie.
It's Woody Allen, so what do you expect?
Yeah, I don't think he directed it or wrote it or whatever, but I don't know who made that movie. I don't care.
It was nobody that I recognized the names of when I looked at it.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. So.
And we're not even going to say your name.
Yeah,
Creator of Ants.
There's 2 of them.
Okay, 2.
Well, let's talk some Monday Night Raw.
Let's do it.
WWF Attitude Package rolls before a highlight package from last week's Raw, which we watched last week. Mr. McMahon looks to present the title, only for Austin to make his way to ringside on a Zamboni, leaping off the top with a clothesline onto Vince. And Stone Cold's handcuffed and dragged away, followed by McMahon telling Undertaker and Kane that they didn't live up to their end of the deal, so neither will he, before flipping them off, which causes the brothers to beat down Vince, destroying his leg with the ring steps. Opening video package with Pyro plays before Jim Ross welcomes us to the show, joined by Jerry the King Lawler. And we go straight to our first match.
Our first of 3 main events tonight. LOL. Main event can't be the first match.
No.
And can I ask one quick question? He took away the Smoking Skull belt last week and replaced it with a new belt. Is that the official, first Winged Eagle belt? The the debut of
I thought
it?
the Winged Eagle.
No, Sean had the Winged Eagle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Winged Eagle.
So this is just a new version of the
Yeah.
same style belt. Okay, cool. Or maybe it's the same thing. Maybe they polished it.
Yeah.
But let's get to our first of 3 main events in our first match.
So we get our first match. X-Pac with Chyna versus D'Lo Brown with Mark Henry for the WWF European Championship.
X-Pac.
The champion came out first. Foreshadowing. We also see footage from last week on how D'Lo became the number 1 contender due to the distraction from Gangrel and a mystery man to Edge. And Brown charges in, only to miss a clothesline, leading to the Kid nailing a spinning heel kick and other kicks in a corner. X-Pac then misses a clothesline, bouncing off the ropes into a power slam from D'Lo, followed by a leg drop and a leg lariat for a 2 count.
And don't forget that suck it to Chyna on the floor.
Brown grounds the Kid with a chin lock as Chyna is served with papers from another gentleman who runs away after delivering them. And she reads them while Marc is grinning like a kid in a candy store.
Chocolate store.
But Chyna just throws the papers away.
With an angry face.
And the crowd fires up X-Pac, who escapes with elbows and a back suplex, only to miss a senton, allowing D'Lo to leap off the second rope with a knee drop for a near fall. And Brown keeps up the attack with strikes and a sidewalk slam for a 2 count, followed by a body slam and heading up top. But the Kid avoids the splash attempt and unloads with strikes to knock D'Lo into a corner. X-Pac then nails the Bronco Buster before D'Lo reverses a whip where Henry trips up the Kid. So X-Pac turns and leaps over the ropes onto Marc, only for him to be caught and driven back first into the ring post.
Posted.
Henry then rolls the Kid back into the ring, with Brown flying off the top with the lowdown for the pin. And the win. And no! Post-match, Chyna jumps in the ring and glares down D'Lo and Marc as they celebrate before they leave to the back.
It's fun. It's a fun way to start a show. A little, mid-card belt change.
Yeah. I wonder if D'Lo moves back to Europe.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Where exactly, though?
I mean, he's moved around quite a bit.
Yep.
Ross and the King then talk about what's still to come on the show before going to a live shot of Mr. McMahon in a hospital, being given grape juice by a nurse, even though she's in a doctor's coat.
Yeah, but he wanted apple.
Yeah, because it whines like a child. It's a different juice. We then get footage of the Oddities and the Insane Clown Posse playing football poorly outside in a field earlier in the day as we head to break. And we come back to the Headbangers making their way to the ring and grabbing a mic, with Mosh calling out ICP, mentioning they have stuck their nose where they don't belong. So he tells them to come on down. And the Oddities come out, but the Headbangers have no problem with them. They just want the clowns. So the Oddities bring out ICP, with Thrasher saying they're about to show them what real heavy metal is all about.
I know, I love that it's rap versus metal, but if these guys just wait a couple of weeks, we're about to get a brand new style of music.
So we got our second match, the Headbangers of Mosh and Thrasher versus the Insane Clown Posse of Shaggy, 2 Dope, and Violent J. And ICP sends the Oddities to the back before jumping in the ring, only for the Headbangers to hammer away, followed by Thrasher hot-shotting J before a double-team flapjack to Shaggy. And the Headbangers continue the punishment with a body slam to Shaggy, 2 Dope and a double-team vertical suplex to Violent J when they set up for a powerbomb from the top, laying out Shaggy. Thrasher then goes outside and grabs a chair to blast Jay over the head with the steel, followed by a shot to Shaggy 2-Dope as well. The Headbangers then set the chair down in the ring to hit a combo powerbomb flying leg drop to Violent J onto the steel, when the Oddities would run back out, sending the Headbangers bailing to the floor and grabbing the mic to let ICP know that they suck. The Oddities claim they're wounded and carry them to the back, as it was determined to be a no contest.
ICP's from Michigan. Moving on.
Back to a live shot of Mr. McMahon, before JR sends it to footage from Sunday Night Heat from last night, where we see Austin cutting the feed to Vince's remote with an axe to a cable as we go to break. We come back to Ross and the King talking about what happened to Vince on last week's Raw, with a video package showing the beatdown once again. We then go to the hospital room, where the nurse tells McMahon that there's a really big guy to visit him. But Vince is getting livid about not wanting visitors.
He thinks it might be one of the guys that put him there.
Yep.
His heart rate monitor is going crazy, when Mankind would walk in with candy and balloons for saying he brought another guest, some female entertainment, if you know what I mean. Say hello to Yerple the Clown.
I love the way he cues this up. He says, she does a trick with the dog that you won't believe. And I was like, Jesus, man. And then the clown comes in with fucking balloons.
And so Yerple makes Mr. McMahon a balloon dog.
Mm-hmm.
And Foley says that he brought another special guest. It's Mr. Sacco! Telling Vince that he's going to give his boo-boo a big kiss.
I love that he just like drops to the floor and
Just high-pitched squeal voice.
Yeah.
It's Mr. Sacco! I can't even do it.
no.
And Mr. McMahon is getting pissed, yelling at all of them to leave. So they oblige as we go back to the arena to Sable getting her hair done before we go to commercial. But we come back to Sable making her way to the announce table as we get our third match. Vader versus Marvelous Marc Mero with Jacqueline. And did anyone notice that young lady that we talked about a few weeks ago
Was she back there again?
was standing right behind the announce table?
I did not notice her this time.
And our competitors lock up, leading to stiff shots to the body by the Mastodon, causing Marc to bail to the floor. Vader gives chase, only for Mero to use Jackie as a shield to escape back into the ring. And the Mastodon rolls back in as well, but is greeted by stomps, until Vader gets to his feet to nail an avalanche attack, sending Marc back outside.
Yeah, all while Sable was on the behind the commentator's table making paint dry.
Yeah,
She does best.
And the Mastodon again gives chase, with Jacqueline used as a shield once more. Only this time, she grabs hold of Vader, allowing Mero to deliver a cheap shot, followed by Jackie jumping on his back, while Marc uses the Mastodon as a punching bag. Now back in the ring, Mero keeps up the attack with a knee lift and a clothesline, before slingshotting in from the apron with a splash. But Vader gets his knees up. And the Mastodon takes control with an elbow drop, corner splash, and a short arm clothesline, followed by another clothesline and a running splash in the middle of the ring for a 2 count. Jackie climbs to the top and flies in with a crossbody, only for Vader to sorta catch her when the ref pulls her to safety, allowing Marc to low blow from behind. Mero then heads up top to hit Marvelocity for the pin. And the win.
Marvelocity.
Vader stacking up losses.
And this would be the last time we see the Mastodon until 2005.
Crazy.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, like we watched 3 shows 3 weeks in a row where he incurred a loss each time. He,
And of course, I
He did
mentioned
the
on
thing-
last one
yeah.
that it's great to be able to see him on my TV still.
yeah, he did the right thing
It was
leaving the
getting close.
territory. Unfortunately, it's the only territory.
Post-match, Jacqueline grabs a mic to celebrate her man, before making a challenge to Sable, which brings her into the ring. And Marc stops them from fighting, but does say that the only reason Sable is upset is because she could never satisfy the Marvelous One, leading to Sable slapping Mero. And Jackie attacks from behind and takes some scissors out of her boots and cuts a chunk of hair off of Sable.
No, not in her fake ponytail.
Holding it as a trophy as they leave to the back.
Bitch.
I was like, thankful for extension.
Yeah.
Back to Mr. McMahon to see him getting his temperature taken as we go to break. But we come back to Steven Regal squeezing oranges with his bare hands to make orange juice.
The real man.
Because he's a real man's man. JR and King then show us the highlights of what just happened for the commercial break.
You guys have seen Raw before, right?
Before we go to our fourth match, Edge versus Owen Hart.
Yeah.
And Owen makes his way to the ring, not dressed for action, as we're shown footage from last week where Dan Severn was hurt during their match. And Hart takes the mic to talk about how he's been in the business for 13 years. That after what he did to Dan, he saw his wife and children, saying he never meant for anyone to get hurt, and apologizes for what he did, all while fighting back tears. Owen then leaves to the back as Lawler calls him a wuss. So I guess Edge wins by forfeit?
Yep. Also,
Win.
during all of this, JR just straight out tells us that Edge, the man with Gangrel, we've seen is Edge's younger brother. No pomp or circumstance. He just lets that information fly. I was like, that's kind of crazy considering you guys have been building up this mystery and you just set it like in between this angle.
Yeah.
Okay. Potentially my surprise of the night. I was like, what?
We go back to see Ken Shamrock warming up as we go to commercial. But coming back, we get our WWF Rewind, where we get the footage of the Zamboni and attack of Vince by Austin on last week's Raw. Michael Cole then catches up with Owen Hart as he's walking out of the building, asking him what's going on, with Owen responding that he's done.
It's over.
It's over.
I don't like this side of Owen.
I'm sure he'll blaze a new trail.
For a while.
But we go to our fifth match. Kane versus Ken Shamrock. And we see Mr. McMahon watching from his hospital bed as the Big Red Machine makes his entrance. And the match gets going. Ken hits some kicks to the legs and knees of Kane, taking him down with a leg lock, but he's kicked off. So Shamrock goes for a crossbody when the Big Red Machine catches and drops his opponent into a backbreaker.
We gotta work on the limbs of that redwood.
Kane with strikes in a corner, only for Ken to slide under and drop kick the Big Red Machine, followed by going for a Hurricanrana, which Kane counters into a powerbomb and chokes. The Big Red Machine continues the punishment with a double choke lift and a body slam for a 2 count, but then telegraphs a backdrop, allowing Shamrock to kick Kane, only for it to not phase him. So Ken is blasted with a hard right. And the Big Red Machine continues with more slams, chokes, and elbow drops until Shamrock escapes, but he's taken right back down by a big boot. And the Undertaker now walks out to ringside, while Ken ducks another big boot and hits a leg sweep to take his opponent down. And Kane's right back up to deliver a clothesline and a hard whip to a corner, only for Shamrock to avoid a charge in and fights back with strikes, flying back elbows, and a leg lariat, before delivering a Hurricanrana and goes for an armbar. But the Big Red Machine just clotheslines Ken down. And Kane goes to the top when Taker would climb to the apron as well. So Shamrock looks to hit the dead man, only to hit the ropes instead, causing the Big Red Machine to fall and crotch himself, allowing Ken to hit a super power slam for the pin and the win. As Undertaker walks to the back, grinning.
A bit of a pop. I don't know if it was for Taker or for Shamrock, but keep talking about how it's like, it's over for this guy. But They let him beat Kane. Obviously, it was for an angle or whatever. But I love Ken. Just he's a motherfucker that won't give up, and it's good energy for the ring.
We then see Terri Runnels in the back, where Val Venis is servicing her.
Oh.
So he does reciprocate, I guess.
Found her wedding ring even. Dang Kitty had it, apparently.
Yeah. Causes Terri to meow. We then see footage of Stone Cold being taken away in a police car from last week, with JR mentioning Austin will be here to explain his actions later on in the show as we go to break. But we come back to our 6th match. Val Venis with Terri Runnels versus Gangrel with Christian.
Ooh.
He's got a name.
And Venis takes the mic to talk to say that Michigan State was the home of the legendary Magic Johnson. Well, tonight, with the big Valboski in town, it's home to the real Magic Johnson.
Ooh.
I just had my fingers crossed he wasn't going to make an HIV joke. Because it's 1998, guys.
Very true. I didn't think that.
That's all I ever thought about. And the obvious thing is he's the real Magic Johnson is the simpler joke that's also much less mean-spirited.
And like I said, Christian's here. So Christian was our mystery man that we've seen the last couple shows. JR also
Recently just told us.
Also mentions that he's Edge's brother, like Michael said earlier, but he reiterates it right here. And the match gets going with a Vampire Warrior taking down Venis with a shoulder block. But Val answers back with a spine buster, strikes, and a running knee before a side Russian leg sweep.
And a thing because of one of the episodes we covered recently, where we talked about Britney Spears, Terri Runnels comes out and she has her hair up and she's wearing a high rise top, like a pink belly shirt, like Britney Spears in that video. And when I wrote down the notes for this, I said she comes out dressed like Baby Spice. But in hindsight, probably a little bit of Britney Spears in there.
Yep.
That's very funny.
Baby Spice is a little too old.
I mean, she's probably younger than Terri Runnels.
Oh, yes. Definitely.
Gangrel ducks a clothesline and nails a belly-to-belly suplex for a 2 count, followed by Venis cradling up the Vampire Warrior for a near fall. And Val keeps up the attack with a big boot, but his whip is reversed into a corner, where he bounces out into a back body drop and a clothesline. Now all of a sudden, Edge has come out from the crowd to confront his brother, leading to the Vampire Warrior baseball sliding out of the ring and beating down Edge, which causes him to be counted out.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Hey, isn't that the finish that we called for Val Venis last week?
Kind of is.
Wow. It works, guys, because no one is hurt
Yeah.
by the finish of this match. Post-match, Christian joins the melee momentarily before they leave to the back as Venis and Terri start making out in the ring.
They're just hot and heavy these days. They're still in the honeymoon part of the relationship.
A gentleman then delivers a gold envelope to the ring, with Val reading the letter, and he looks stunned. And Goldust appears on the Tron to let everyone know he's returning next week.
Yep, Terri gets angry. She tears up the letter.
Got served.
I know, these people who deliver legal papers are getting a workout the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. I do love that he says that the letter is a personal invitation to Goldust's world premiere next week.
We then see footage from Sunday Night Heat again, where Austin destroyed the feed to Mr. McMahon's room before making his way into the arena where he would confront Shane McMahon at the commentaries table. Because at this point, Shane was doing the play-by-play for Sunday Night Heat.
With Cornette, I think? Yep.
We then get The Rock pinning Jeff Jarrett, only for Dennis Knight to pull the ref out of the ring to prevent the count, leading to Austin jumping in the ring to fight off Knight and Double J with stunners, finishing with Rocky and Stone Cold staring each other down as we go to commercial.
Yep, we're still doing stuff on Sunday Night Heat. It's a new show.
And we come back to the nurse rebandaging Vince's leg, in which he thinks she's being too rough. so he asks for another nurse. We then go to our 7th match, Al Snow versus Double J, Jeff Jarrett. And we get back and forth action with mat wrestling, strikes and hip tosses, when Snow would headbutt Double J several times, followed by a pair of clotheslines that sends Jarrett to the floor. And Al grabs a chair, only for Double J to nail a clothesline to change the momentum, when Sergeant Slaughter would come out to talk to the ref.
Uh-oh.
And Snow reverses a whip to send Jarrett into the railing before setting up a chair to hit Air Snow on his opponent. And Al starts crawling his way around ringside towards Sarge.
Did you notice that it was a army crawl? A little G.I. Joe reference.
But Double J recovers to blast him with a chair and throw Snow into the ring steps. And Jarrett continues by dropping Al throat first on the guardrail, followed by rolling him back in, where Snow fires up, blocking a kick and spinning Double J around to deliver his own, only for Jarrett to catch it and laugh. But Al then connects with an enziguri. Double J then reverses a whip to a corner and charges in, only for Snow to avoid and grab head. But Jarrett ducks and goes for a slam, which Al floats over and body slams his opponent. Snow picks head back up and heads to the top, only for Slaughter to shake the ropes, causing Al to fall and crotch himself, while the ref calls for the bell and the disqualification.
Large.
Slaughter.
Yeah.
Some of a bitch.
What happened? He was, a real one for quite a while there when he was battling against DX, but apparently now he's the bad guy? Or is Snow the bad guy?
He's a stooge.
Okay. That's true. I forgot we are in the stooge era now, so yeah, he's...
We then see DX walking in the back, heading towards the ring as we go to break, before we come back to our 8th match. Road Dogg Jesse James with X-Pac versus Mark Henry with D'Lo Brown. And Road Dogg brings out a blow-up sex doll named
Mona.
Yeah.
I misspelled it.
When they spelled it on the closed caption on the screen, it came through as Moana.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, I mean, technically Mona, but yeah, just spelled Moan with an A.
To play the part of Billy Gunn this evening.
Yeah, Mona, or Mrs. Ass.
She's got the trunks on.
While Lawler says he got a hold of the letter that was given to Chyna earlier, where it states Marc is suing her for sexual harassment.
Okay. Staring at his ass or something, probably, right?
Well, didn't he kiss her?
Yes.
Okay. Like a month ago.
Yeah, like literally they said sexual harassment. I was like, for what?
Yeah. Only I could think it was the...
Doesn't make any sense that for Marc to sue Chyna.
That was long enough ago that...
I thought about it too much in my head notes already.
When he kissed her, that was long enough ago that The Rock was still like kind of...
Yes.
Well, he was still...
He
was like still associated with like... He was still the leader of
the nation.
Which now they just kind of slinked right past that because he outgrew it. So we don't really have to talk about it too much.
So Henry uses his power advantage early on, hammering away on the back until Road Dogg ducks a clothesline and nails a shake, rattle, and roll right hand and a leaping forearm to take down his opponent.
I get so mad that his little shimmy crap gets fucking pop from the crowd. But it's DX. They're over.
Followed by a shimmy shake elbow drop.
I hate it.
For a 2 count.
Hate it.
Marc answers back with a power slam, heavy right hands, and multiple hard whips into corners before an elbow drop. And Henry keeps up the attack with a clothesline, only for James to fire up, running the ropes where D'Lo trips him up, allowing Marc to nail a leg drop. And X-Pac comes around ringside to confront Brown when Chyna would walk down the ramp to deck D'Lo from behind. Henry's yelling at the ref to eject her from ringside, allowing the kid to jump in the ring to deliver a low blow and an X Factor, with Road Dogg making the cover for the pin and the win. Post-match, Brown goes after James in the ring, followed by Marc giving chase to the back with a chair in hand.
It was just the runoff. You're like, all right, we probably weren't going to follow up with this or anything, but let's run to the back.
We then see The Rock pacing in the back, before seeing Mr. McMahon asking for more juice as we go to commercial. And we come back to Vince getting his blood pressure taken, followed by a recap of what happened last week.
Oh, man.
As Austin drove a Zamboni to ringside, leaping off to attack McMahon.
How many is that? The 6th time we've seen the Zamboni?
Something like that, yeah. Stone Cold be handcuffed, sent to jail before Vince would be beaten down by the Brothers of Destruction, slamming the steel steps onto the leg of Mr. McMahon. Now back to Vince in the hospital room, where he complains that his blood pressure has been fine every time she's taken it, when a doctor walks in, saying he will take it from there, only for it to be Austin under the mask.
So obviously.
Jumping on McMahon and then beating him up. Stone Cold smashes the cast on the hurt leg, followed by a bedpan to the head, causing Vince to fall out of the bed and giving us a shot of him in his tidy whities.
So smart. It's all anybody wants is to see him embarrassed. And it's like insult to injury. And smart of him to be like, well, I'll just fall out and you'll see my underwear. Because people will love this moment even more because of it.
See, he's the sickening type at times. I'm surprised that the whiteys were fully white and didn't have some sort of an oh shit, I shit myself stain because I'm about to get my ass kicked.
I don't think we've gotten that gross quite yet.
No, but it's been.
Yeah. I mean, it seems very plausible.
Austin continues the punishment by using the electroshock paddles on him.
The defibrillators.
To electrocute Mr. McMahon before bending him over the bed to shove an enema up his ass.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was the enema or the IV, but it doesn't matter. He jammed something up his ass.
Yes.
That was crazy. I was like, whoa.
We come back to JR and the King discussing what we just saw with a video recap.
Of course, that's big. That's what they've been building up to the whole show.
Followed by going to our 9th match, The Rock versus The Undertaker. And Taker immediately attacks, hammering away all around the ring, chokes in a corner, even scaring the ref out of the ring when he tries to force a break. And Rocky tries to fight back, but the dead man keeps up the attack with a leaping clothesline for a 2 count, which brings Mark Henry and D'Lo Brown down to ringside, who distract Undertaker long enough to be clotheslined out to the floor by The Rock. And Taker glares at the Nation members before dragging Rocky outside, only to have his whip reversed, sending the dead man into the ring steps. Now back in the ring, The Rock strikes as Kane makes his way to ringside, which distracts Rocky. So when he turns back to his opponent, Undertaker nails a chokeslam. And the Nation has had enough of the match, so they leave to the back, with Taker watching them. But then he makes a cover for a 2 count. More chokes, arm work, and old school by the dead man to get a near fall, followed by wearing down The Rock with a reverse chin lock, only for Rocky to escape with a back suplex for a 2 count. And Undertaker regains control with strikes, tossing Rocky outside and bashing him into the railing and steel steps. The punishment continues with strikes and chokes inside the ring when Taker turns to glare at his brother, allowing The Rock to get in a flurry of offense, but the dead man answers right back with a vicious clothesline for a near fall. Rocky again fires up, only for Undertaker to destroy his opponent with a clothesline and a leg drop for a 2 count. Taker then telegraphs a backdrop, so The Rock kicks him away and cradles up the dead man for a near fall, before a clothesline that gets a 2.
I thought it was kind of like very smart for The Rock to pull him over with like that sunset, that roll up, because he's down there, and you're like, well, the Undertaker stays up and punches down. That's what the Undertaker does. But The Rock being able to pull him down, it's like subconsciously makes it even more special, just if you've been watching the Undertaker for a decade.
Oh yeah, I mean, JR makes it a point, I believe, where nobody's ever done that before.
Yeah.
Like, why has nobody ever done that before? It seems like the most simplest.
Well, it's because the Undertaker's
result.
big.
Well, I mean, I know he's big, but
he's big and he's dead, so he's heavier for some
down
reason.
off of there.
Yeah.
Undertaker reverses a whip to deliver a big boot for a near fall, followed by glaring at Kane once again for going for another old school, with Rocky countering by pulling Taker off the top rope and nailing a swinging neckbreaker for a 2 count.
Bad idea. Don't go back to the well.
Shake, rattle, and rock.
Rock charges at the dead man, who catches and picks up his opponent for a tombstone. But Rocky wiggles out the back to take Undertaker down with a side Russian leg sweep and a people's elbow. The two then trade strikes when the Rock boomerang whips Taker into a corner, with the ref getting squashed.
Ref bump.
And both men hit clotheslines for a double KO. So Kane shoves the timekeeper and takes his chair. And our competitors are back on their feet, with the dead man hitting a headbutt and forearms, until his whip is reversed, sending Undertaker to the ropes, where the Big Red Machine smashes his brother with a chair shot from the floor.
But was it an accident?
Causing Taker to bounce right off into a rock bottom for the pin. And no, the ref is still out. Kane then slides the chair into the ring before leaving to the back, so the dead man is able to sit up while Rocky checks on Hebner, turning back around into a tombstone onto the steel for the pin and the win. Post-match, Undertaker glares down the entranceway at his brother, while JR says his goodbyes, and we fade to black. So I ask you gentlemen, what are your overall thoughts of Monday Night Raw from October 5th, 1998?
I mean, this is one of the better main events on Raw we've seen. And Undertaker lost nothing. We keep The Rock further away from the title for a little while because we can't just pop it on him. And yeah, Raw's a strong show right now. It's full of replays, but they're exciting replays, and we're trying to get views.
Yep.
They packed so much in.
Yeah,
it's crazy how much they pack in.
There's a lot of stuff on the show, but I mean, again, much like last week, it's a top-loaded show, or focused more towards the end of the show. It wasn't a hard one to watch, but there's just a couple of standouts on there as far as obviously the bedpan incident, or the just Vince McMahon in the hospital incident with everything that ensues there.
Socko!
Yes, the whatever word I'm trying to say. Debut of Mr. Socko, Yerple. I mean, there was a lot just tied into the hospital shenanigans. But yeah, there's not a lot more memorable stuff on there other than what happens at the hospital.
I'll say it pairs well with a couple cold cans of Surge.
There you go. Surge, maybe, in speaking in modern day times or modern language, a couple of pre-rolls.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be good with that.
I didn't have the pre-roll in 98, but I definitely had the 12-pack of Surge in the garage fridge, and they were being drank while watching this.
Yeah, I didn't have the pre-roll, but I had, a roommate that could roll them, so...
Yeah, you had the 1998 dirt weed.
Yes. Reggie, as we like to call it back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, the show itself, it feels like it's planting seeds of stuff that's going to be happening down the line, but it's just mostly focused on the hospital shenanigans. It's like with Triple H not there, there's just something missing about this whole picture. And I'm hoping that once he's able to walk again with whatever happened to him, I don't remember, but we'll get back to
it. He hurt his SummerSlam in the ladder match.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
I was never a Triple H guy, so I just never he was around, yeah. But he is a pillar, but he is not pillar 1 or 2.
Yeah. Right now the pillars are uneven because Kane is still fairly new to the whole thing, and it just kind of it's throwing off the balance, which I think is why we're getting mixed cheers and jeers for the Kane and Undertaker thing, because we don't know if we're supposed to cheer them or boo them, but either way we're excited to see them. But
they're definitely not getting
something missing.
They're both getting cheered, but they're never getting boos on the level of they're not getting booed on the level that The Rock and Stone Cold are getting cheers by any means.
No.
People are a little confused about how to feel about them.
As you've mentioned, the reason to watch this episode is the Big Mr. McMahon and the hospital stuff.
You guys, did you guys like the main event?
The bedpan, the Mr. Sacco debut, those are moments in more favorite moments in the history of Raw, right there, historic moments. Yes, the main event was fantastic. Mm-hmm. Actually, I really think there actually was some decent wrestling on this show.
Yeah,
they gave a few things a little bit more time to work through it because they knew most of their segments were not in ring.
Yeah, they were
like last week where Vince was in the ring for like 13 seconds.
And none of them were very long. The segments were all pretty short for the most part.
Absolutely.
And there's kind of just little vignettes sprinkled through the show until you get to that big moment of Austin braining him with the bedpan.
Yeah.
Showing off his tidy whities.
Good. Where's the smart marks at? All right. Fuck you.
I think it's time we smark it up. So, what are some of the best moments of this show?
Me and Sacco as a 11-year-old, I thought Mr. Sacco was the funniest thing ever, and obviously it's a very small part of this. It's just 8 seconds it's him pulling it out. Yeah, it's a throwaway joke, but it got huge reaction from the crowd. It got a reaction from people at home, and it becomes a staple.
Yeah, it's now a lifelong attachment for Mick Foley.
Yeah, and it's one that I don't even think about anymore when I think about Mick Foley, but it also might be because I've been so far removed from watching this era in so long. But I thought Mr. Sacco was hilarious as an 11-year-old.
I mean, I was 21 at the time, and I found it just as hilarious. Sacco was great.
I'm not gonna lie, I fucking love the Headbangers just squashing the shit out of ICP.
Yeah, that was fun.
Seeing a totally different side of the Headbangers tonight, huh? Finally banging some fucking heads. Whatever is still going on between Mark Henry and Chyna, there's still more to be told there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Last week was the first one off of a pay-per-view, and they're just slowly ramping it up. They got 4 weeks till the next one, and I don't think there's any huge missteps here. We got the slight to Billy Gunn with the blow-up doll, so there's some intrigue there, because that's pretty disrespectful, I'd say.
Mona.
Especially considering that their catchphrase is "suck it," and they
got a doll that can suck it.
I'm glad Christian finally has a name.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that they could have done.
We don't know anything about him yet, then he's Edge's brother.
Little brother.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where I think that if any of these three guys they could trust to talk in the ring, maybe they would have given it some time, but they're all green, so it's we're not just gonna hand them mic. We don't have any managers or whatever.
I think they reek of awesomeness, but
I didn't say that they weren't cool or didn't have potential. It is crazy to see Christian with that awful hair and those stupid glasses. It's he doesn't even look like the same guy.
I'm telling you, when his glow up comes, it's something special.
Because Edge still looks like Edge. You can do anything you want to that man's hair. He's always going to have a very severe jawline and face.
Not that I want to give flowers to Jacqueline and Sable, but I'm glad they actually had something that is more than them.
Long, other than them just
fighting over. I don't want Marc Mero, but I'm with Marc Mero now, so I'm going to hate you, even though you're not with him anymore and you don't want anything to do with him. Even though it's something as stupid as I'm gonna cut your fake hair off.
Yeah, it's you didn't. Yeah,
we've
Mark
seen
said you're a bad lay.
A lot of range of Sable over this year. Not that she's the greatest thing on TV, but
range.
Well, she's gone from being the girl who cried at ringside because Mankind wanted to talk to her, and now we saw her at a couple of shows ago where she's screaming in the back at the top of her lungs to get this bitch away from me. Get this bitch away from me. So she's
don't forget the Sable Bomb.
Yeah, she's showing some spark. She's showing some spunk. She's starting to get a little more comfortable in front of the camera instead of just being this ice cold.
What do you call what you did on commentary?
That's actressing.
Okay, it comes in waves, I guess.
She had to look all sweet and innocent so that she can come back with her new hairdo next time.
Yeah.
And she's going to be, a true badass bitch. Maybe with a sidekick or two.
How about most disappointing? Last time to see Vader?
Yeah. It was coming. I mean, yeah, they really squeezed the last couple bucks out of Vader with those 3 losses in a row.
I was looking forward to seeing Edge and Owen Hart fight again, and then Owen just comes out and goes, yeah, I'm done.
I didn't realize it.
Sad.
I gave you the, well, I shouldn't say I gave you, I chose the little Blackman figure here, and you got the Marc Mero figure, which coincidentally took out your guy Vader.
I know. It's fine. I'm not a Marc Mero fan. It's just that he hasn't been used particularly well in the WWF. But
I'm very much not a Marc Mero fan, but I do enjoy Johnny B. Bad.
Yeah.
Wish they
That's a
could
good way to put it.
bring that back. There's not a whole lot to
The whole
hate
Sarge
on the
and
show.
Al Snow stuff, I'm just like...
I think they're just biding time and keeping Al Snow on TV because Al Snow is over as hell because of Head, and there's people in the crowd wearing like wife beaters, like buddies that all with a letter on it to spell out Head. There's signs, there's the foam heads. Like he's just over, and they just got to keep him on TV.
I'm like, unless this leads to a Sarge and Al Snow match, like on pay-per-view or something,
Which nobody wants to see and shouldn't happen.
exactly.
Because
Like,
Sarge
I don't
is
even know
like,
what I don't even know what kind of match they would do there because
A head match.
who knows? Head on a pole. Like,
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's gonna be head on a pole match at some point.
The head versus the chin.
But I'm just like, what do we keep doing here?
Yeah, it's like they're trying to recreate the DX Sarge feud, and Al Snow's not enough. I mean, Al Snow and Head together aren't enough.
I mean, if Al Snow's not getting any mic time, like he's a one-note character.
Yep.
That one note is playing
It's
to the
over.
rafters.
It's over.
Yeah.
But it's one note.
Yeah.
J-O-B.
Or anything else disappointing? Like this is it's once again it's one of those shows where
Solid.
it's like it's a solid show.
Mm-hmm.
It's entertaining.
Nothing like amazing.
Yeah.
Other than there's a few things. But
Yeah.
Nothing
terrible.
Nothing terrible.
There's just a lot
Things
of,
are moving.
Yeah.
And nothing...
Some things are super memorable, and other things are just like, oh yeah, that happened too.
Nothing outstays. It's crazy. Like I said, they pack so much into this. There was 9 matches on this show, technically. Some of them were not so matches. But they still packed 9 matches, all with angles of content into this, in between all the vignettes. Yeah, it's bananas.
Yep.
It's like a whole, It's like a half a season of television, almost. in 90 minutes.
Best performer of the night? I mean, Mankind made me laugh the most.
Yep.
Vince
had his moment.
Vince was the highlight of the entire episode. Was every time we were with Vince.
If Vince sucked, then none of this would have ever worked. But he's way too good at being hateable.
Baker Pole did make a balloon dog.
She made a balloon dog. She did what we fully said she would.
No, almost took the whole damn show.
But I really liked the main event. But I mean, Vince McMahon really killed it here.
Yep.
And anything surprising?
This is when Vader went out. I mean, that's still undisappointing too, but surprising.
What did I say earlier in the show? It was surprising.
I mean, D'Lo Brown winning the belt back. I mean, it's kind of surprising.
It's mostly surprising because it's like the first match on Raw. It's not like...
I mean, I think it kind of leads back to like how I was talking last week when I was talking about the number 1 contenders match. Like, we thought Jarrett would win because Jarrett and X-Pac are feuding. But now D'Lo has won the belt back. But like literally the Nation DX feud is Henry and Chyna. So X-Pac loses the belt. So is X-Pac going to continue to fight D'Lo? Like, it makes no sense for that whole issue.
I think they're just keeping plates spinning and just deciding what to do because they're like, well, we have options now.
Yep.
We can figure it out to various degrees of making sense, but it'll at least be fresh enough in people's minds that they have an excuse to fight.
All I know
We're getting
is
close to Survivor Series, so maybe we're putting together some teams.
all I know is the European Championship does sound like a real man's man kind of belt.
Ooh.
I'm just saying.
Foreshadowing?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like,
We've been pushing,
Quit playing the vignettes and let's get him on fucking TV.
Yeah.
Speaking of, who's the IC champ right now?
It's Triple H.
Triple H. Okay.
On this show.
Okay.
Spoiler alert for next week.
It's not Triple H?
It's not Triple H next week.
I assume that his injury, they're like, all right, we got to take this thing off of you.
X-Pac is
And I have a feeling that they have a guy that can hold it for a while, and people will be excited, and it will keep him away from the title.
The people will be excited?
The people will be excited.
Okay.
That's my assumption. I don't know for sure. I don't
He's the
remember
number
all
one
this.
contender for the WWF Championship.
Yeah, but there's you can do with it. You can. He's not so high up that he can't float. I don't know. I'm just
They're not
guessing.
gonna do the Warrior thing with The Rock. I'll tell you that.
All right.
Making their way to the ring.
It's trivia time.
Uh-oh.
This week the category is What's in a Name? So you get 5 points for a correct answer, 3 points if we go to multiple choice. I will give you the real name of a wrestler. You give me the wrestler name.
Okay. The wrestler name. Gotcha. Okay.
The real name is Edward Harrison Leslie. Shane?
That would be one Mr. Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
That would be incorrect.
Is it? Okay.
Edward something Leslie. Edward Harrison Leslie.
Mm-hmm. Does Michael want to go to multiple choice?
Yeah, I go to multiple choice. I think I know. I have an idea, but
Stumped.
Well, your options
let's hear him.
are Brutus the Barber Beefcake, the Butcher, the Man with No Name, or the Zodiac.
Oh, this is dumb because it's supposed to be 95. Gotcha.
The name, the Butcher, and what was the last one?
Zodiac.
Zodiac.
That's correct.
Okay,
As,
that's bullshit.
Lame.
as Shane has figured out, he
He
did not go by Brutus the Barber Beefcake in 1995, but he did go by the other three.
Oh my god, that is crazy. What are the names of
Dumb.
of Axe and Smash?
Mr. Wrestling 2 and
No, they're real names.
Barry Darso and
Barry Darso and I can't think of Smash's name.
Axe. Smash with Barry Darso.
Yeah.
Or Axe, whichever.
Eads. Something like that.
What the
Bill
original-
Eadie?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. The Ed part but it was making me think of one of those two guys.
You know, the original second member of Demolition was Moondog Rex, but likely he came out the first time and everyone could tell that he was a former Moondog, so they screamed at Moondog at him, and so that was the first match was the only match he was ever part of Demolition.
It's like, oh, guys, you didn't do a good enough job painting him up.
Fun story about Demolition.
Yeah, that's a good story.
Yeah. Next week, WWF Monday Night Raw.
Jeez.
The very next week of October 12th, 1998. We're watching this entire build to this pay-per-view, guys.
I know. I mean, it's just littered with the moments that made the schoolyard go crazy.
Should the most surprising be that we've literally,
Not watched anything other than WWF.
we've had, these memorable moments that you think of when you think of Raw.
One
Yeah.
week after the
Literally
other.
happened 2 to 3 weeks in a row.
I mean, it makes sense why it became appointment viewing for me so quickly, because I remember these ones and I was trying to figure out when I started watching it. It's basically just a couple weeks before this, where I may have watched it every once in a while, but right around this time it becomes appointment viewing. But it seems like it does for more and more people every week, and some of them might be tuning out of the other channel.
Music from this week's show is We're All in This Together by Jim Johnston, and Undertaker Stood Tall, so we play Dark Side version 1 by Jim Johnston. And if you like this episode or any of our other ones, please go out there and rate and review us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you find your podcast at. Do as Michael says.
5 stars or no stars, do it for your bull.
And if you have any questions, comments, concerns,
If you think the trivia this week was bullshit too,
It was bullshit.
let me hear about
I
it.
agree with you. It's funny. It's a good bit.
Going for honky tonk man every time now. Yeah, where are we going next?
Uniondale, New York.
New York.
Uniondale, I assume, is upstate.
I have no clue.
I have no idea.
Yeah. It's outside of Albany.
Yeah, so, I mean, we had New York pizza. Give me some other ideas for New York, because I'm still a broke-ass bitch and never made it there, so...
Upstate probably has some... Is upstate like a garbage plate place?
It's to the west of New York City, but before you get to Long Island.
Okay.
It's just literally to the west of New York City then, huh? Okay.
So is that like Queens, technically?
If you're
West
listening...
of Queens. Or east of Queens, I mean.
Okay.
If you're listening from the New York area, help, because there's too many areas over there that I don't really know anything about, and this is one of them, so... Uniondale, like you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me some ideas, because I don't want to have to bring the same normal shit as usual, like a big slice of pizza or cannoli or something. Cheesecake.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me some ideas. I need help.
Uniondale cuisine. A place in New York no one's heard of.
Slide into our DMs.
I thought it was upstate, so... Yeah.
But you can send any of those things to WrestlingHistoryX@gmail.com. And if you have any complaints about me, about the trivia question, shut the fuck up. Or you can send those to us on X at WrestlingHistoX. It's WrestlingHistoX. We'll talk to you next week.
Fuck you, Brutus. Laters.
Brutai.